channel. If you're new here, consider subscribing. Put out new videos every week. Today we're making shrimp Fra Diavolo. Fra Diavolo translates to brother devil, and that's because this sauce is spicy. So the first thing you want to do is check out your shrimp and make sure they're cleaned. A lot of time you get the package and it'll say cleaned and deveined, but sometimes there'll still be some stuff in there, so just give it a once over. So these are 16 to 20 shrimp, and what that means is per pound there are 16 to 20 shrimp. So these are roughly an ounce each. So I just want to remove any excess moisture. I laid these on a dish towel, let them air dry in my fridge for a couple of hours. I'll just put another dish towel over the top and remove any excess moisture. This way these get some nice color in the pan. So I got a bowl here. I'm just going to add these to the bowl. I'm going to season these up. I'm going to put just some salt here. Generously seasoned with salt. Some fresh cracked pepper. I left the tails on these shrimp. Feel free to take them off if you prefer. And I have some aleppo pepper here. This is going to add a nice subtle heat. Also, I have a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and this is going to adjust the pH of the shrimp, and it's going to help them get some nice color. I'm just going to mix that by hand, make sure everything's coated. So I have my pan here, preheating over medium-high heat. Got some olive oil in there, and I want to get this olive oil relatively hot, just to the smoke point. Now we'll add our shrimp. Be sure not to splash the oil because you don't want to get any hot oil on you. And we're just going to let this go for roughly 1 minute. We don't want to fully cook the shrimp here. Just want to get a crust on them, just get them started. So these have been in the pan about 1 minute. Now we'll go ahead and give them a flip. They're getting some nice color on there. These look really nice. We'll let this go just about another 30 seconds. Again, we don't want to fully cook this. I'm just going to transfer the shrimp here. Got a sheet tray lined with paper towels. And if you have smaller shrimp, adjust the cooking time. Cook them about 30 seconds if they're smaller than this. These are colossal shrimp, so these are relatively large. So I got 4 cloves of garlic here. We'll get our sauce going now. I'm just going to slice this garlic down. I like roughly large pieces of garlic in this sauce. And then once the garlic is sliced, I'll just run my knife through it. This is a similar method to my homemade tomato sauce, except this is obviously Fra Diavolo sauce. This is going to be spicy. Now I have a can of San Marzano tomatoes here, and I'm just going to crush these by hand. I'm using my other hand to shield any splatter of the tomato juice. Now usually when I make my tomato sauce, I run the tomatoes through a food mill, but for this Fra Diavolo, I like a chunkier tomato sauce. So the tomatoes are ready. I have the same pan that I cooked the shrimp in. I'm going to put this over medium heat, and we're going to add the garlic. And we just want to sweat this garlic for a few minutes, just to cook out the raw flavor. We don't want to get too much color on the garlic, especially we don't want to burn it. I want to let this cook about 3 to 5 minutes. The garlic's become fragrant, the raw flavor is cooked out. You can see the color, it's lightly browned. This looks perfect. So I'm going to add another layer of flavor and heat. I have this cherry pepper spread. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of that. And I also have half a teaspoon of red pepper flake. And if you want this hotter, feel free to add more. If you don't want it as hot, just add less. I think this is the perfect balance of heat. Because again, we seasoned our shrimp with the aleppo pepper. I added that cherry pepper spread. and the red pepper flakes. So we just want to let that bloom in the oil about 30 seconds or so. So we have all those brown bits on the bottom of the pan that we cooked the shrimp in, and that's just a ton of flavor. We want to get all that up. So I'm going to add half a cup of white wine here. And this is just layering flavor for the sauce. Take a wooden spoon and scrape all that off. You want to get the pan as clean as you can. You can see here, that's what we're looking for. All those brown bits are off the bottom of the pan, and they're just going to flavor our sauce. So I'm going to let this wine reduce about 5 minutes or so. And now we could add our tomatoes. I like to add 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. This helps with the acidity of the tomatoes. And then we'll just season that generously with a bit of salt. Add in some fresh cracked pepper. Stir that, and we want to let this simmer about an hour. Let this cook down, let the flavors intensify, everything marry together. So it's been about an hour. I have my water boiling for my pasta. Generously season that with salt. We'll give this a taste as always. And this tastes good. So I'm going to add a pound of linguini here. Of course you could use any pasta you like. Just push that down so everything's submerged. And this is going to take about 8 to 9 minutes to be al dente. And in that time, we'll finish off everything. I have the sauce here. It's looking real nice. It's cooked down. You can see the colors changed. The flavor tastes great. I'm just going to add a touch of dried oregano here. I'm going to stir that in. And now we're going to bring back our shrimp and finish cooking them in the sauce. This way they're cooked through and they're nice and hot. Want to make sure we turn the heat down to low because we don't want to turn this shrimp into rubber. This is why we just seared them for a minute or so we could finish them cooking in the sauce. So they finish cooking and they absorb all that flavor from the sauce. Just about a couple of minutes or so. Now, take a slotted spoon here. This shrimp is done. They're heated through, they're cooked, and I'm just going to put them to a pan here. Our pasta should be just about finished cooking. Give that a check. And that's nice and al dente. So we could take this pasta out here, drain it off, and then we'll add it to our sauce and finish plating up this Fra Diavolo. Right into the sauce. Don't put your pasta onto a plate and then just dump the sauce over it. You want to marry it with the sauce. Give that a toss. And we're ready to plate this up. So we got a plate here, and we'll just mound up our linguini. And then we'll take our Fra Diavolo shrimp and just put them around the base of our linguini. At this point, you can feel free to add more chili flake if you wanted to pump up the heat. You could add grated Parmigiano Reggiano. I personally don't like it, but some people do. So if you like it, go ahead and add it. Put a little more sauce on the top here. And then we'll just sprinkle over some fresh chopped parsley. And that's my shrimp Fra Diavolo. Really great dish, perfect amount of heat, ton of flavor. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Put out new videos every week. I really appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time.